Hello, hello, hello. It is a Tuesday, another Tuesday. It's come around fast. I'm back from on stage. Had so much fun. So I am getting ready. I've spent a little bit of the time today putting together a cute project for you. So I'm glad you're here with me. I'm just trying to get all of the gadgets doing what they need to do. Get the gadgets gadgeting, right? And today is not a day for gadgets, apparently. And if this doesn't work, then we will... There we go. No, it isn't. All right, well, we are just going to get on with it. If this won't work, then this won't work. Apparently, Facebook is not my friend today, and that's okay. So I'm going to use some of the Beach Boardwalk paper. It is so cute. You can see from these cute, cute cards here. Look at these. Oh, my goodness. It is so much fun, you guys. You can see the different elements here. These are the die cuts, and they've layered some more die cuts here on top of the paper. So much fun. Okay, this is just not going to work, and that's okay. Sometimes we don't need Facebook, right? Okay, so bear in mind I can't see what you are seeing, so I'm going to try and stay on camera so that you can actually see what I am seeing, and then we can take it from there. So I've already designed two layouts and two cards with this paper, and it's so much fun. I think it's great for beaches. They featured the boardwalk images on it, as you can see. Here is that stamp set with the roller coaster. This gives you those old 50s vibes of roller coasters. But look at the palm trees. You can never have too many. And look at this fun paper. You can see both sides. This is the one I'm going to be using today, and I'll show it you up close and personal further on. And again, you've got the two sides. These images you can hand trim out. This is a fun paper as well with the palm trees. Cut it in half, and then you could run it along two pages. Love the water one. I've already used those on my layout, so I didn't have enough for the cards, but that's okay. So, and you can see where they've given you ideas on this side, how to create a background using the blending brushes. But anyway, I'm going to combine the scraps of what I had left over with a brand new product. Yes. So let me get on with it and show you. So this was a brand new item that was released just a couple of weeks ago, and they are clipboards. The reference number, let me give you that. It's on the back. Hang on, please hold. 167819. And it's a set of 3 clipboards. Love them. So you get 2 large. This one in the bottom is the same size as this. So you get 2 large and 1 small. They have a stand, so you can put them on a desk or on a side, a table, whatever. You could use them at work. You could use them at home. I think they're adorable. I'm going to show you a cute decor item using one of the larger ones. So let me move these out the way and let's start playing. Now, because I've added a lot of the fine tip glue pen as a decorative accent, I've had to prep some of this ahead of time. And it also means that you're not going to watch 14 hours of the chaos gremlin creating online with you. So this is our board. I'm going to tell you what I used first and foremost, because it just makes it easier, right? I also used the Spotlight on Nature dies. You know that these are my go-to circle dies. I love them, right? And I'm going to add some of the basic rhinestone jewels. And then don't be hated on me. It's coming back. I'm using the Capturing Smiles bundle, so that this is the stamp set, which is adorable. Look at the little signs. And then I'm going to use the coordinating dies. Now, this bundle is currently unavailable, but it will come back. So when you go to my website and you see it, sarahbatkin.stampingup.net, make sure that you click the box to notify me by email when it comes back into stock. That way, when it does come back, you'll get that email and it'll remind you to get it, and so you don't miss out on it. I think it's super fun. So I thought I'd use it even though it's currently unavailable, because then you'll have an idea of how to use it when it comes back in stocks alongside these cute clipboards. I also did a little bit of colouring with my watercolour pencils, and obviously used my Wink of Stella and my water painter as well, and a journal pen. So let's, without further ado, let's get on with it. I'm going to show you on the stamps where I used it as well. So I'm just going to move these out of the way because you know what they look like, right? Okay, let's try and move some of the stuff to the side. Okay, so with these clipboards, let's move this away. When you put your paper in it, and like I said, I've already cut a lot of mine ahead of time. Remember that this, in some clipboards, when you put it under, it'll go right up to the, almost to the hinge. Ours don't, ours end there. All right, so that piece I cut with a really nice even border on the sides and the edge, and I'm going to give you all the paper piece sizes so you can duplicate this if you want. So just bear in mind that even though this board is a 6x8, a 6x8 won't fit on it because of the way that the hinge is attached. So my base piece is 7 inches by 5.5. So nana inches, Kokero, Goten, Go Dozo. So that will be my base. The next piece that I cut, and that's our basic black cardstock. I then used cake crumb, and this is 6 3/4 by 5.25. So that's Roku 10, Nana Go, Kokero, Go 10, Nigo Dozo. All right. And I am just going, I'm going to use this adhesive because I'm still unpacking from Long Beach when we were away. That's a brand new one. Let's use one I've already opened. So I have stuff everywhere, but I'm going to just move that clipboard out of the way for a second. Then I know I'm not going to get glue on it, and I can center this pieces. We had so much fun, you guys. Oh my gosh. If you are on my team and you didn't make it, then please try and make it next when the next one comes round. Okay, so much fun. I had banners made for my team leaders with their team names on it. I had homemade, hand engraved travel mugs made for all of the team as well. You know, I'm going to leave the lid off this so that I just have it right. Just make it easier, Sarah.com. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. All right, I'm using some of this paper from the Beach Boardwalk set. Isn't this cute? It gives you the beach vibes, but with all the little stars that are shown in it. It also gives you sort of party atmosphere as well. And it's the tickets, which you could hand trim out if you wanted. This is going to be the back, and as you can see on the paper as well, I've roughed up those edges. Now this fancy piece is actually one of the sticker borders that was left over from my class, so I'm just going to peel off the backing. Isn't it cute? And we are just going to layer it just a whisker. That's a technical term, you know that, for the Chaos Goblin, up from the bottom edge, all right? So how big is this piece, I hear you say? It is 6.25, 6.25 by 4 3/4, 4.75. So Roku 10, Nigo, Kokeru, Yon 10, Nanago, Dozo. Whew. Okay, so let's add some adhesive to this. And I'm going to use this just because it's nice and easy for this. I like to come in and then just come in a little bit on the side. So I'm only putting a thin line. I don't want it to squish out anywhere. We don't need any ooze. Okay, so again, we're going to pop that piece down here. Now, like I said, this is going to fit. I'm just going to put it onto my clipboard just a second, just to show you. So this will clip in like so. So, depending on what you're going to do with it, depends on where you're going to place your pieces. Right, now Sarah wants to add a flip flap. Of course she does, okay? So I'm going to bring in my photo pieces and I'm going to show you what I've got. All right, so we have this piece and let's stick this one down. So these photos I have cut just a little bit smaller than a 3x4. So this was my 60th birthday, hence the party, the beach and the party theme for this, right? And I've cut the photo of me, and I've already done my journaling, all right? So the photo bases are 3x4s, but I've actually cut my photos slightly less than my photo mats. So I did about a 1/16 of an inch smaller. Don't be hating on me. So the photos are about a 1/16 of an inch smaller. This piece I think is a 1/4 of an inch smaller. Isn't that fun? I wonder if I can add some more to that. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's going to be on the inside. So it's a perfect way to hide your journaling using the flip flaps. Everybody thinks you can only use flip flaps in your albums, but that's absolutely not true. You can use them on a home decor piece. You can use them on the front of a card as a pocket. You can make a shaker card out of them. So much fun, all right? So this is my flip flap. This is my 3x4 flip flap. And I think I want it to open that way, all right? So we're gonna just pop this in here, like so. Slide it in. My hands are cold. Oh, goodness gracious. It was beautiful and warm in Long Beach, California. It is not beautiful and warm in Michigan. Just saying. All right, so usually we would then peel off this top edge and we would then glue it into our album, correct? Yes, ma'am, because you stick this to the outside of your page protector. Well, I don't have a page protector for this, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, let's find my tape adhesive. Look, here's one I prepared earlier. All right, I'm actually going to run adhesive, if it will stick, yes it will, to the inside of my flap. I'm going to line up my photo mats on each other, and I'm going to stick that to the back. Okay, so now when you open it, it's now behind. Got a little bit of adhesive on that. That will just rub off with my finger. There we go. I got over enthusiastic where it was, but that will now stick down, yes, and I can open it and I can stick this to my paper. All right, so before I do anything else, I'm actually going to do that. I'm only going to stick down this edge. I'm not sticking down this edge yet because I have other pieces to stick down, but this will be a great way for me to place my photos where I want it. Okay, I can rub that down. Okay, so there we go. So there is my nice opening. All right, so let's bring in all of the other elements that I'm going to play with, and we can line them up. Okay, so I have a circle that I cut using the cardstock that matched the Beach Boardwalk, okay? And you can see, if I bring it up to the camera, and I'm hoping you can see that I have taken a sanding block and I have sanded the surface to get that cute, frosty, cloudy kind of image to it, okay? And this is going to be part of an anchor to anchor all my elements. All right, we're not sticking anything down. I'm just tucking it in there for the time being. Okay, so let's go back to the camera because I paper pieced my camera, and let me show you what I did with it. And I'm going to bring the gems in and I'm going to bring the stamp set. So let's just cover that with that just for a second. Okay, so here we go. So these are all of the dies that are in the set. Let me open it up and then you can see them. I'm trying to make some space. Okay, so we love this. This is our little film strip. We love a film strip, right? Super, super cute. When you cut it out, you have all of the little holes, just like a film strip does. And then You can also cut it out. You can use these squares to use in these holes, or you can use these holes. So you could cut it out in black, cut it out again in white, and then use the white squares to put in said holes, which is what I did. Okay, these parts all comprise the camera lens. Okay, and then you can combine them with these images. So this image, you can stamp on this lens. I then stamped this. I cut this piece out of cardstock. You can stamp this piece inside this. You have different scenes to go in your film strip. Here is the image, okay, that you can also stamp inside your camera image. And then you have this piece, which I cut. Did I cut out of this one? Yes, I cut out of this one. So I'm just thinking, did I cut it out? Yes, you did, Sarah. So here's your tag. So you've got a gift tag. You'd also use this with a cup and saucer or a coffee set. Looks like a tea bag off the, the little tag off tea bags. But I'm going to show you a way that I used it. No, I didn't. You could use this as a gift tag. Right. I'm going to show you another way. So let me show you what I did, because I've got many pieces here. Okay, so here is my base. So this is this camera base here. Okay, I've just cut it in white cardstock, and this is going to be my base. Okay, I then cut this same piece twice. I cut it in the paper. So this is the back of that paper, and you can see it's got that beautiful graduated look. This is the paper, and you can see it has this beautiful sunset look. And I cut it about up here so that it had a little bit of the darker and a lot of the pink. I didn't want the yellow in it, all right? So I then went in with my scissors, and when I stamped it, I trimmed it really close to the ink line. And in fact, up here, I can even come in just a whisker closer. Now, if you say, well, sorry, I don't want to. I just want to use it with this, because this stamp obviously fits this die. You absolutely can, but I want to cut mine really close to that ink line, because I'm actually going to mat it on the white. And you're going to say, well, why? Because I want that little bit of white background all around the edge, but I didn't want to have to colour it in. I could have stamped this and just coloured it in with a water painter, or I could have coloured it in with a blending brush. I didn't want to. I actually wanted this graduated paper. So let me stick said paper to said white card base, and let me just paper piece this together. And this is basically what this is called. This is called paper piecing. Think of it as jigsaws for card makers. Okay, and we're going to try and have equal amount of white all the way around the edge. Now, I'm not worrying about the hole up at the top, okay, because I'm going to cover this hole in a minute. So if this didn't line up, doesn't matter. I just wanted that equal white edge around it. Now you can see that I have a brown piece here, and a brown piece here, and a brown piece here. Yes, I stamped that out, and then I went in with my scissors and I cut it out of the brown version and then glued it on top. And I have one more piece left here, and I'm going to need my handy dandy tweezers, because nothing's happening with these nails, right? And I'm going to stick it here. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little bit of the liquid adhesive, and you could use the fine tip glue as well. And I'm going to put the adhesive on my base and then stick the cardstock to it. Okay, I don't want to put adhesive on this and then drop it in the wrong place. And then I'm going to, just layer that together. And because it's a liquid, I can just nudge it into place before I glue it down. I will just give that a second. Okay, so my camera's coming together from pieces. Tell you, the Chaos Goblin. All right, so you can see this area, which would be the flash. What I did with that, I went over it with my Wink of Stella, and then I went over it with that fine tip glue to make it shiny, so it looked like a flash. I also did a drop of the liquid glue here and then over that section as well. And I took my grey watercolour pencil, it is basic grey, and I just coloured in those little arrows. So that forms my base. Give me some loving, give me some thumbs up and the hearts and all of the things if you like what I've done there. All right, out of this piece of brown cardstock, I also stamped this piece, and then I went ahead with my scissors and I have just trimmed it out along those ink lines so that you can still see those ink lines, but I'm keeping the trimming pretty close to them. Okay, and I'm just going to trim this bottom edge as well, and let's just trim that out like so. Okay, so, ooh, I don't want to blow all the pieces away, Sarah. I need all of these. Okay, I know, little tiny bits of paper. I've also cut, this is just a scrap of white cardstock, and I've gone over it with my Wink of Stella to make it shiny. And then again, I'm going to just go around this hole on this piece. Now, you could do this with a piece of silver cardstock or a piece of gold cardstock. I didn't have any to hand that I could find, so we've just done it on white. And I will trim it in just a second. We'll just line it up. So if I need to trim any off, I will. So we'll just press that on. I know I need to just trim this piece here, but if I try to trim it straight away, it is going to pop off. So it'll just slide. But what I am going to do while I'm waiting is I'm going to put one of my basic rhinestone gems on that circle there. And because the sheet is clear, I can see which size gem I need, and I need one of these top ones. So I'm just going to use my tweezers and just pick it up and pop it on there like that. All right, we're going to need more. You know we are, so I'll come back to those in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to just use my scissors and I'm just going to trim off that little bit there that was sticking out. And then this piece I'm going to overlap on there, and then that makes it look like the viewfinder. So again, with that, just a little smear of adhesive, we are going to pop that. And again, let's just keep my nails out of the glue. And we are just going to layer that up like so. This camera is so stinking cute, you guys. I love it. Okay, we are getting there. All right, still doesn't look camera-y enough. We've got the front of a camera, we've got our flash, we've got our viewfinder. We need a lens right in the middle. So here, let me find the pieces. Here's one of them. So this is this piece here, okay? I cut it out of the same paper that I cut the camera out of, but then I went in with my watercolor pencil, okay? And then in the Flirty Flamingo, and then I just blended it out to give that same gradient tones of paper that you get down here. So that was the idea with that. All right, so we are going to stick that to said camera like so. And again, I am just going to go around it with my liquid adhesive. Okay, let's pick that up. And then let's put it on the front like that. Let's get it centered. We don't want a wonky camera. Okay, I'll stick that down. All right, this piece is this edge. And then I've taken the center and I've stamped it in the center. And if I hold it up to the camera, let me stand up and see what you can see. I'm hoping, yes, you can absolutely see the shine on it, which is great. So I actually used my Wink of Stella, so it's sparkly and shiny. I know it's definitely shiny, you can see that, but there's some gold glitter in there as well. And that I'm going to lay on top, but I am going to use my adhesive, and I've managed to find some more adhesive here that needs using up. So guess what? We're going to use it. We're going to be using all the adhesive, right? lots of adhesive, so let's just stick it in and let's use this up. Honestly, every time I think I've used it all and finished every packet of additional 3D foam tape that I had, I find another packet and I'm like, yay, more adhesive, and then I'm like, oh, more I've got to use up. All right, so let's just peel the backing off of these. So I was very, very excited in Long Beach. I walked the stage as I've earned the incentive trip. I walked the stage as recognition of my gold elite status. In fact, I'm platinum status now, but I was gold elite at the end of the calendar year for Stampin' Up. So yes, super, super fun with that. Watching and cheering on all my team and my downline. Learning lots of new stuff. There we go. Look how stinking cute that is. I mean, it's adorable, isn't it? What do you think? I better be seeing big hearts and big thumbs up for this. All right, so let me show you another piece that I prepped. You can see that I cut out my black film strip, and you can see again, it's shiny because I went over it with that liquid adhesive. And you can see I've got a white piece underneath it. I matted it onto some white cardstock. I stamped this piece on it first because I wanted to remind myself where this piece would go. I could actually colour in this piece, but I've coloured in a second piece. It doesn't matter. I stamped the words photo op, and then I added some of that same, using this, I cut out just a little piece of that same blue paper that we've used on the background, right? So we'll be tucking that in there as well, and we're going to be bringing this camera in. Okay, so before we put this film strip down, you can see that I went ahead and I used my water painters, and I have coloured it in or with my watercolour painters, and then I blended out my sunset with the Wink of Stella, and that is going to fit in there like so. So I'm going to put in a little bit of adhesive. We'll just do like a cross shape on it. Just put a little bit of adhesive in there. Once it's in, it's not going anywhere, right? Okay, and then we'll just tuck. Okay, scissors, tweezers, Sarah. Okay. Just push that into the adhesive. Now I've stuck 3D foam tape on the back already to remind me to pop it up. So that's making it a little bit harder for me to get a good push, whoops, against it. Okay, so look at that. It looks like a film strip. OMG. Okay, so we are almost done with all of the pieces that I've cut. Okay, I want to attach my camera, so it's actually going to come out like this, something like that. And I know that when it's shut, it's going to shut across it. I'm not mad about that. Don't panic. I'm not too worried about that. It's going to be what it's going to be, and I actually like it just popping out because it encourages you to open it up, see what's underneath, right? So let's stick this down. So we'll just pop a little bit of adhesive around the edges. Make sure I get that top edge as well. Okay. Once you've prepped all the pieces, it actually comes together really quickly. All right, so we're going to put it. I want to still see a little bit of this border popping out. Okay. So love that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Right. Now I cut out a set of elements, so it depends where I'm going to go with these. All right. This piece, and I'll just tuck that down. Yes, we're going to pop that piece there. All right. I've just left enough space underneath the top of that film, the camera, that I can just tuck this film strip underneath. And again, I have come in with my liquid adhesive, with that fine tip liquid adhesive, to colour my film strip. So again, it's shiny. Oh, I love that. Now, I do have this other little circle that I cut out of the paper because I wasn't sure if we needed some pink still somewhere. And I'm not sure we do. Well, see, until it all goes down, I'm not sure. See, I would like that on there. And I do have some ribbon bows somewhere. I did cut the one. I found the one that I lost last week. Do you remember I was looking for a bow last week? And I'm like, I know I did one and I can't find it. Yeah, it was on the floor. What part of that statement surprises you? Okay, when the Chaos Goblin strikes. Okay, I'm not sure about these pieces. I've got some embellishments. Ah, ha, 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 ha. No, that's a scrap of ribbon. I thought I just found it. I thought, oh, yep, I have. I've just found it. All right, I just found my ribbon. Okay, I'm not sure I actually like a bow on here. I'm not sure it actually needs a bow on here. But until I find it, I just thought it, nah. That's a hard no from me, Bob. All right. I also had, cunningly disguised as something else, I thought I had some tickets that I cut out of the paper as well. But I've also got these. These are the puffy stickers that match the paper, and they are so adorable. I really, really like them. Aren't they fun? But I think they're a bit too much. This is the problem. I think there's tickets and there's, let's open them up so you can see them. Hang on. There are these fun balloons, which I could bring in because it was my birthday. We were celebrating my birthday. But I still think that, you know, and again, with this clear sheet, you can hold them on and decide if you like them. I kind of like the balloons on there. Not going to lie. We've got ice cream. I don't need ice cream, but I think the balloons, because it was a birthday, I think they kind of look fun. All right. I do like the vacation, but we could put the vacation up there. Okay, I felt it needed some more pink up here, but maybe it doesn't if I switch out that for that. Okay, we're going to just peel it off and hope for the best that we can stick it back on. I do. I really like that. Okay, we're going to, again, lift up just the corner of this camera so we can stick it underneath. And make sure we don't hide the words. Yes. Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Now, so do I do vacation? No, vacation needs to be up here. All right. Again, whenever you're designing artwork, put all your pieces down that you know you want to use. This is one of the stickers that was left over from the class. We didn't use it. Look at that. Perfect. How stinking cute is this? Stinking cute, right? I'm not, 1, 2, 3. So we've got the reds. We don't need any more. We don't need any more. I was debating whether to tuck that underneath, but we actually don't need it. All right. I like my circle here. So now I know I've got some of it stuck down. I am just going to tuck a little bit of adhesive behind it. I was waiting for somebody to say, sorry, you didn't stick the circle down. I know. I did it on purpose because I wanted to be able to tuck all these elements in before we went any further. But I really do fancy those tickets. So if I was paper, right, you have all of these fun tickets and images that you can hand trim out. And you can see here where I did that around the Ferris wheel. And we're just going to just snip that off. And remember, you can always leave a little white line around the image when you're cutting out. Go slowly, turn your paper, not your scissors. Makes it easier. And this one goes this way. Okay, we'll cut that across. The bottom edge, it doesn't matter so much because I'm going to be tucking that under the camera if I can get it in. .com. Haha! All right, so I'm not too worried about that. And in fact, I might even cut these tickets a whisker smaller. They may be too long, all right, because I was going to have them coming out over here. All right, so let's just, for grins and giggles, just snip them in half and see what they look like, see if I even need them, because I think they're so cute. I kind of like them. I have to be honest with you, I do kind of like them. So let's just rough up the edge of it because it just looks a bit hard, okay? So let's just scratch them with your scissors, just rough them up a bit. I know I didn't do it to the vacation piece, I was meant to. And again, we'll just lift up that camera, just a whisker. And let's just tuck them underneath and see what I think. I might want to trim them. Oh, look how cute that looks. We like that because how many of you played with this paper? And how many of you absolutely love this paper? I think it's so much fun. I really do. So this was that border I was showing you just a minute ago. And there is another border which is cunningly disguised as something else in here. Please hold while I go ferreting for it. And it's all tickets. And I did actually cut a piece out and then decided I didn't want to use it. Now, of course, I've decided I want to use said piece. There it is. Got it. Right. Because there is a ticket here. And it says fun in the sun. Okay. I've already cut one of these out somewhere in the box and I was hoping I could pick it up. But it doesn't matter. We are just going to snip. So I taught a class at a lady, a customer and a friend came to my crop 2 weeks ago, and she was making this adorable layout for her son. And she had an idea of what she wanted to do, and she was struggling a little bit with elements on the page. So my advice to her, and to you, my sweet friends who are watching, is to take all your elements, lay out your photos where you think you want them to go. Just like you've seen me do this evening, right? And you can see I'm just trimming out this ticket. And then lay your pieces out on the page where you think you want them to go. Then once you've laid them out, it gives you a good idea on whether they're big enough, whether they're too big. Yes. Okay, I need adhesive on the back of this. Please hold. Let me find a piece of 3D foam tape. Now, these are already sticky, so when you cut a piece of 3D foam tape, make sure it's approximately the same size as your ticket. Okay, I do like that. Do I want these to stick up? No, I do not. These are going to be flat, so we'll just put a little smidge of glue behind them just to hold them still. Okay. And then we'll take this ticket and stick it down over the top. Da, da, da. Adorbs. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Oh, it would be if it was straight. Come on, Sarah, don't do this. All right, there we go. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so these two tie together. We've got some red in here, and we've got some dark pink here and here and here. We've got the light pink here and here, and there's a little bit of pink in the photos as well. The blue or the greeny color in Haze's shorts are tied in with the blue. So we've got 1, 2, and then 3 if you like, because this is halved by the black. The black also ties in with the black in the photos, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm not going to put any more of the puffy stickers on. I think it will be too much. Even, I mean, the stars are cute, but they are too bulky. I want some more bling in here, but those balloons are just perfect for this because it was a celebration. All right, let's add some more gems. Did I get to the end of what I was saying? You see, that could have been another gem up there, but we do have a gem here that you can see. Okay, let's add some gems up here. So we're just going to add a couple. I'm just going to hold this still. This would actually be easier if I actually took it out of the frame, because then it would lie flat, Sarah. And then we can just decorate up here. And we'll just bring in some gems, because you'll still see them up here in this corner. And then we need to have some gems on here. Okay, and we'll just add a couple going up the page like that, and then we absolutely need some down here. Okay, this is meant to have glued still. Okay. I don't know whether we need too many more. I think that looks adorable. What do you think? And as I said, once you've decided I was talking about how to design a page. Yeah. So lay all your pieces down, then you can see whether you need to add more or less to what you're doing. So this will now stand up, and I can open it up and read the, I'm going to take this out because I've just discovered where I want to put some more of that beach trim. Right. So I want to put the piece along the bottom there. So let me get my handy dandy paper trimmer out, which I've cunningly moved and hidden so that I wouldn't knock it over. It's underneath my feet. So I'm sure that that is 3 3/4. No, 2 3/4. So we're going to do 2 3/4. Oh, and when you've got a skinny piece, always cut down into it. Okay. Now I'm still thinking that that is a little bit tall for what I want. So I'm actually going to trim off a whisker from the bottom. Just a little bit. Okay. Whisker is a technical term, you know this. All right, yes. Right, before I stick it down, let's just scruff up those edges. Edge distress is what you're looking for, Sarah. Scruff up the edges works just as well. All right, but you can see, you know, even though I thought I designed that the way I wanted it, you can still come in and add in a little bit more. Love, 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 love. All right, so let's bring that back and just slide it back into our pocket. It is perfect. Look how cute that is. OMG, I absolutely love it. Love, 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 love. Just those few gems just make it so much fun. So I tell you all about it. It's my 60th birthday. It was a wonderful day on the beach. You can see my sister, Rachel, and Keith, my husband. Here's Robin with the baby, Elliot and Leo, and of course me. It was so much fun. What a fun way to celebrate a birthday. So this, you could, as I say, you could put it up on your desk. You could have it on a bookshelf or on a mantle over a fire. Great for a coffee table. Decoration. By adding the flip flaps, you could add a 4x4 flip flap to it. You could absolutely do whatever you want. It would be cute clipboard for displaying your favorite cards, or displaying in the kitchen as your you know, for notes on it, for a shopping list. I mean, if you're going to have a cute list up somewhere, at least, you know, have a cute one, right? Still think that pink piece needs to come in, you know? I keep looking at it because it's heavy pink at the top, at the bottom. You know what? I'm going to stick that piece there because I've cut it. All right, so let's just tuck it in there because I want to. Yes. I like that up there. Yes, yes, yes. Me likey. Okay. We'll be adding more on it to it yet. You know that. So, I mean, how cute is that? You could put in the comments what you would use it for. This is that white piece I was telling you that I cut out the squares to fill in those pieces there. So I hope you've had fun. It hasn't been too chaotic, all things considered. I'm on a 3-hour jet lag. I do have a tag, so if you were making this for a friend, you could put to Sarah, lots of love from whoever had made it, right? And so you have a cute little gift tag. This you could use on a card. You know, you don't have to use it as a gift tag. It would be a fun accent to your project. I hope you've had fun with me. I will see you next Tuesday for another Chaos Goblin filled Technique Tuesday. Bye.